Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are well. I've got this new tutorial for you. This is a simple bridal look, but very effective, so it can be used for Asian, Indian bridal, Pakistani makeup looks. So if you want to see how I created this, carry on watching. The tutorial will be in Urdu and in English. So I've started off with the brows. I'm using my Kashees brow gel here. So I'm using this just to create my brow shape, and then I'm going to fill it in with the NYX brow pencil just to create some more depth and some hair strokes just to give it a better shape. So Kashees का brow gel इस्तेमाल किया and then NYX की pencil बस hair strokes create करने के लिए, and then अपना eyebrow बहुत ज़्यादा heavy नहीं किया. So I'm going to create my eye base now, and this is using the Too Faced concealer. I'm using a flat synthetic brush to carve out my eyebrows first, and then I'm covering the whole eyelid with patting motions and just patting out that product. And then I'm going to use it at the top as well, carve out the eyebrows. So Too Faced का concealer इस्तेमाल किया है, patting motion से इसको लगा रही हूँ, and अपना eye base पे फिर यहाँ पे जो eyeshadows हो वो अच्छे तरीके से उनका कलर पे ऑफ होगा. So just at the top as well, just carving it out, and then I'm going to go in with my fluffy blending brush, and I'm just going to blend out the edges, just to make sure there's no harsh edges when I come to the foundation. And obviously I'm just going to be getting rid of any extra product as well. So यहाँ पे मैंने बस eyebrows carve कर लिया, and then fluffy brush से blending कर रही हूँ, and जो extra कोई product है उसको भी absorb कर रही हूँ. So I'm using my Jaclyn Hill palette for this whole look pretty much, and I've gone in with that colour. So I've gone in with a fluffy blending brush now, and I'm tapping this on to the outer areas of the eyes. Now this isn't a very heavy eye makeup look, so you could use different colours here, deeper tones and things like that, but I was going for something quite simple and blended. So I'm blending this, I'm just tapping this on first to get the colour payoff, and then I'm going to start blending out into the crease area. So this is my first transition colour basically. So I take this quite high. It's personal choice what you do here, whether you wanted to keep it just to the lids as well. So tapping motion से पहले मैं product लगा रही हूँ, and then जब color मुझे लगता है कि सही है, then इसकी blending कर देती हूँ. ये मेरा पहला color है, so ये transition color होगा मेरा. So just bearing in mind that the concealer is wet, so you tap it on so that you're getting your colour payoff first, and then you start blending. And when you feel that there's no pulling going on, you can tell that the product's actually, absorbed in a little bit, then you start blending in towards the crease area. Then I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller brush and a slightly darker colour from the same palette, and then what I'm doing is I'm just running it along the lash line a little bit and up into the socket areas. So I'm creating my outer V here, but not a very sharp one, it's a very blended one. But you just need to make sure that you actually keep the product lower than your transition colour, so you're not going to be going as high as your transition colour or over that basically. And then once I've blended this out into the outer corners, I take it just across the eye, about 2/3 of it as well. So एक छोटे ब्रश से मैंने एक डार्कर कलर लिया है, इसकी आउटर वी ब्लेंडिंग कर रही हूँ. आउटर वी मुझे ज़्यादा शार्प नहीं चाहिए थी, ब्लेंडेड मुझे चाहिए था. तो लैश लाइन पे एंड आउटर वी पे पहले मैं कलर लगा रही हूँ, एंड देन जब कलर सही लग गया फिर इसकी थोड़ी बहुत ब्लेंडिंग करूँगी. एंड ये कलर आपने ध्यान से रखना है कि आपके जो पहला कलर लगाए उससे थोड़ा सा नीचे रहे, मतलब ऊपर तक नहीं जाना चाहिए. एंड देन जो पहला कलर था उसको fluffy brush को लेके and उसकी blending कर रही हूँ कि सही blending हो जाए. So then I go back in with my very first colour again and just lightly blend out the two lines just to make sure everything is blended. Next I'm going in with this shimmery colour. I'm just using my finger, so I swirl my finger in and then I press it onto the eyelid. So I'm pressing it on and then I sweep downwards and then I sweep across and get this product on. So normally I do this twice depending on what I'm using. In this one I did it quite a few times just to make sure I got a colour payoff, because it was quite a light colour as well, but it looked absolutely gorgeous in reality. I don't think you can see here, maybe later on in the video you will, but it looked really lovely. So I'm just patting this on, and then as I have less on my finger I take it across into the brown a little bit just so that there's no difference, so it is blended a little bit and you haven't just got this harsh line in between. सो फिंगर से ये नेक्स्ट कलर अप्लाई कर रही हूँ, सेम पैलेट से है, तो फिंगर से बस स्वेल करके ना तो इधर लगा के एंड पुश करके एंड देन नीचे स्लाइड करती हूँ। इनर कॉर्नर्स पे मुझे ज़्यादा ये प्रोडक्ट चाहिए था, आउटर कॉर्नर्स पे ऑब्वियसली कम। सो मिडल में थोड़ा सा लेके जाती हूँ जब फिंगर पे कम प्रोडक्ट जाता है, एंड देन इसकी ब्लेंडिंग सही हो जाती है। So then I just wanted to add a little bit more shimmer, so I've got this eyeshadow from Urban Decay, which is a really pretty one, and I just tapped this on. It's a little bit of an odd consistency, but it's a really nice shimmery colour. So Urban Decay का यहाँ पे shimmer इस्तेमाल किया है, आई शेडो है लेकिन इसमें थोड़ा सा शिमर आता है, तो रियलिटी में मतलब ज़्यादा नज़र आ रहा था। एंड देन जो आउटर सॉकेट एरियाज है उनको थोड़ा सा मैंने डेप्थ देना था, तो फिर एक स्लाइटली डार्कर कलर लिया है एंड उसको आउटर कॉर्नर को ना थोड़ा सा ब्लेंडिंग करके तो उसको थोड़ा सा डेफिनेशन दे दिया। So then the outer corners, I just wanted to add a little bit more socket area and a little bit more depth in there. So some people do this first, but I like to do it this way. It just gives me a better blend when I've already put my shimmers or my glitter on. Then I like to do my blending at this point from the socket areas, and then it just makes sure that everything is nicely blended. आप लोगों को मेरी वीडियो सारी पसंद आ रही है, कमेंट इतने स्वीट आते हैं, इंस्टाग्राम पे भी इनबॉक्स आते रहते हैं, मैसेजेस एंड एवरीथिंग, सो थैंक यू सो मच आपके प्यार को और आपकी सपोर्ट का। इंस्टाग्राम के भी आप मुझे फॉलो कर सकते हैं, शाज़मा MUA आगे भी मैंने लिखा हुआ है, तो अगर वहाँ पे और वीडियोस पिक्चर्स सारा कुछ मैं अपलोड करती रहती हूँ तो वहाँ पे आप मुझे फॉलो कर सकते हैं। So guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can do it. It's Shazma MUA, and then I have a lot more videos and pictures that I upload there. So you normally get to see my looks there first as well before they come on to YouTube. So next is the eyeliner. I'm using the liquid eyeliner from NARS. This is the new one, and it is really nice. I'm just making a small wing, and then I'm not starting from the edge right at the tip. I'm just starting in the middle, and then I'm just winging just making it a little bit thicker. I'm literally just drawing a line on here on both eyes, and then I go in with my my eyelashes, and then I figure out how thick I want it, and that's when I perfect the eyeliner. So there is a difference in the eyeliner on both the eyes in a second, but that's purely how I do it. I actually really struggle with eyeliner. It really does take me a while to kind of like do eyeliner, make sure that it's correct, so I really take my time when I do this. So I find this liquid eyeliner was actually really easy to use as well. So I've used vitamin C serum and the vitamin C moisturizer, and then I'm going to go in and color correct with my Krylon paint stick in the shade Oriental. So eyeliner मैंने लगा दिया था, liquid eyeliner है, and basically liquid eyeliner बस एक line create करनी थी and थोड़ा सा wing, and then बाद में जब lashes लगाऊंगी फिर मैं eyeliner को सही तरह थिक करूँगी और इसका लेंथ लेके आऊँगी। eyeliner to be honest with you मुझे थोड़ा सा मुश्किल लगता है, तो उसको मैं stages में फिर करती हूँ, मतलब एक ही दफ़ा मैं एक proper विंग आईलाइनर नहीं करती। eyelashes जब लग जाती हैं फिर मुझे थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा अंदाज़ा हो जाता है। सो कलर करेक्टिंग मैंने की थी क्रायलॉन की पेंट स्टिक से, तो अभी नाज की लॉन्ग वेयर फाउंडेशन इस्तेमाल कर रही हूँ। कलर मैं नहीं बता सकती क्योंकि इसका स्टिकर उतरा हुआ था। ये ब्रश से अप्लाई करूँगी एंड देन डैम्प ब्यूटी ब्लेंडर से इसको ब्लेंड कर दूँगी। एंड इस दफ़ा सिर्फ मैंने एक फाउंडेशन यूज़ की है और आप देखना कि इसकी फिनिश मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छी आती है। सो ज़्यादातर मैं फाउंडेशंस मिक्स भी करती हूँ, लेकिन इसका फुल बेस मतलब एक ये ब्राइडल बेस है एंड सिर्फ एक फाउंडेशन से किया है। So I'm using the NARS Longwear Foundation, one of my favourite foundations to use actually for bridals, and I'm only using this one foundation which I've applied with my Real Techniques brush. I'm spraying it with some setting spray, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, and then I'm going in with a damp beauty blender to tap this out, which I tap out for quite a few minutes. I'm only using the one foundation this time. You probably notice in a lot of my videos I'm mixing and things like that on heavy bases, but you can just create a bridal base with the one foundation as well. You do not have to have the mixture. I'm only showing you these as, you know, alternatives, or that's what people are looking for, so, or what they're wanting to see as well. So I'm just giving you different options so you kind of like know when you see your client's skin what you want to use and how much coverage you need, to be honest with you. So I've gone in with my beauty blender, tapped away, and then once I've done that I go in with one final layer of foundation, and this is a very thin layer, and I just tap this all out. So underneath the eyes I'm going to highlight with my Too Faced concealer. This is the Born This Way concealer in the shade Vanilla, and I'm just highlighting in the usual points underneath the eyes. There are different ways of applying this, like under the eyes you keep seeing like at the inner and outer corners concealer and things like that, but I just find that you end up blending it out and it's pretty much the same, to be honest with you. I'm contouring with Huda Beauty Tanto in medium this time. I really like this. Actually, this was the first time I used it, but I did really like this product. It blended away really nicely. So highlighting मैंने की थी कंसीलर से Too Faced का and Huda Beauty का contour palette यूज़ कर रही हूँ, Tanto in medium. So I don't over contour. Like you've noticed that when I contour, even though it looks quite harsh now, I do end up blending it all away and even afterwards. So sometimes I know a lot of people want that heavy contouring, but it's just something that I don't normally do, and I'm finding it difficult to show you guys because I end up blending it all out because it just looks so harsh when I look at it in reality. So when it doesn't look right in reality, it's just not something I want to do then, because I don't want my bride to walk down the aisle and have these lines just everywhere. So it's just not something I do. So I'm using a contour brush. This is from MAC, and what I'm doing is just blending out the product. So I like to do the dark contour first. So down the jawline and everywhere, I'm just blending it all out as well, and it's a little bit harsh at the moment, but then I blend out with my lighter concealers that I'm using, so that's when the proper blending will happen, and with the powders and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you don't put on too much product as well, and you take your time blending this out. And what you want to do is not bring it too forward onto the face as well, and try and keep it in the places where you've actually drawn on your lines. That's why you're actually placing it there, but it can look a bit odd if it's not blended out properly. So contour मैं blend कर रही हूँ, बस मैं ज़्यादा heavy contouring नहीं करती, मतलब अभी आपको नज़र आ रहा है heavy कर रही हूँ, लेकिन इसको फिर मैं blending काफ़ी कर देती हूँ, and then end पे आपको नज़र आएगा कि मतलब थोड़ा सा look आ गया, लेकिन वो heavy blending नहीं है, heavy contour नहीं है, sorry, जो असल में जब आपकी वो लाइंस नज़र आ रही होती है ना, तो वो सही नहीं लगती. एंड ये प्रोडक्ट मैंने पहली दफ़ा इस्तेमाल किया था और मुझे काफ़ी ज़्यादा पसंद आया. आई रियली लाइक दिस. इसकी ब्लेंडिंग भी अच्छी हुई थी. So you can see especially when I do the cheeks, if there's too much product, I will wipe off that product on the back of my hand or on the inside of my hand. I just did it there, just so that you don't want to have too much product, because sometimes obviously you have got too much product on your brush then, and it ends up kind of like just going in places where it shouldn't do. Down the nose, I've just used a small fluffy blending brush. Again, I could have made the nose a bit narrower and things like that, but it's just not something I wanted to do, and my model didn't need it, and she wasn't really into that either. So I just do what I need to do basically. I could have really slimmed the nose as well if I wanted to. So I'm spraying again with my Charlotte Tilbury base. Now this is a good way, so you can see I've used the spray twice now already. Spraying in between stages is a really good way of actually making your makeup last longer. So आपने नोट किया होगा कि मैंने सेटिंग स्प्रे इस्तेमाल किया था, पहले भी इस्तेमाल किया था फाउंडेशन पे, और अभी भी हाइलाइटर ब्लेंड करने से पहले. ये एक अच्छा तरीका है अपनी फाउंडेशन को ना लॉन्ग लास्टिंग बनाने के लिए, कि 1-2 स्टेजेस बाद ना आप थोड़ा सा वो स्प्रे कर दें एंड देन अपनी ब्लेंडिंग कर लें. The only thing is you have to actually work quite quickly then as well, because obviously it will start setting everything. So I'm blending away with a small beauty blender. This is from Morphe, and I'm just blending away all the highlighted areas underneath the eyes and everywhere, and just making sure everything is tapped away. So then I'm just using some liquid blush here. This is from NARS, and it's a beautiful pink colour. So I'm just tapping this on. So I don't tap this on once I've powdered, because it does look wrong at that moment. That time it just looks cakey and things like that. So I add this on when I'm doing all my wet products like my foundation and concealer and things like that. So यहाँ पे लिक्विड ब्लश यूज़ कर रही हूँ. ये मैं पहले लगा लेती हूँ, क्योंकि उसी पाउडर्स के बाद ये सही नहीं लगता, मतलब इसकी ना वो फिनिश सही नहीं लगती, क्योंकि पाउडर्स हमने इतने ज़्यादा लगाए हुए होते हैं. तो इस स्टेज में आके मैं लगा देती हूँ, एंड देन ब्यूटी ब्लेंडर से ब्लेंड कर रही हूँ, फिर अपना ऊपर सारे पाउडर्स लगा दूँगी, एंड इसकी सही ब्लेंडिंग हो जाएगी. So now I'm just adding on a little bit of extra powder. I'm just powdering underneath the eyes first. I'm using the Huda Beauty Pound Cake. I'm using my the sponge to blend this out. So what I'm doing is I'm adding it on in all the places where I've highlighted. Now I don't go where I've contoured because I'm going to use a powder that's a different color. So I'm just blending this away. I've left it a little bit underneath the eyes and then I go back and just blend it all away. So यहाँ पे आज मैंने Huda Beauty का पाउडर इस्तेमाल किया है. इट्स शेड इज़ पाउंड केक. सो इसकी बस यहाँ पे टैपिंग मोशन से एक पाउडर पफ से लगा रही हूँ. एंड देन आई एम जस्ट एडिंग ऑन अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा पाउडर नाउ इन एरियाज underneath the eyes, only purely because of fallout. And then I'm just showing you here, basically if you add a little bit extra powder there, you can just define your contour a little bit more if you want to, and you can just let the powder sit there, and when you brush it off, I'm going to show you how to brush it off as well. It just makes a difference. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix here. This is in the shade NC45, and I'm just contouring over the cream contour I did, obviously, and I'm just setting that. I'm not going in too harshly, I'm going in quite softly here, because even though we're contouring, I just didn't want a really heavy contour. So यहाँ पे MAC Studio Fix का contour NC45 पाउडर इस्तेमाल किया और इससे मैं contouring कर रही हूँ. I'm बहुत lightly कर रही हूँ, बहुत heavy contouring नहीं की. तो अगर आपको ये वीडियोस पसंद आ रही हैं, प्लीज़ इनको लाइक भी करें, शेयर भी करें एंड कमेंट भी करके मुझे बताना प्लीज़. So inside the eyes I've gone in with a little bit of Kryolan. Now I do have nude pencils and things like that to use, but I find creams work better. So when I want something to really stand out, I will go in with this. Now I didn't want to use white because sometimes white is a little bit overpowering. So when I use this just works for me. So eyes के अंदर मैंने Kryolan की पेन स्टिक यूज़ की थी. I think it's GG कलर था, सो इतना ब्राइट भी नहीं है, लेकिन ये पेंसिल से ज़्यादा कई दफ़ा अच्छा हो जाता है क्योंकि उसकी फिनिश सही नहीं होती कई दफ़ा पेंसिल की. So I just went underneath the eyes and I just added a little bit of light brown. Now what I'm doing is buffing away that powder. So I've let the powder sit there, and what I'm doing is I'm using my MAC Studio Fix. So I'm using this in small circular motion. So I didn't tap the powder away, so the powder that was sat there, I just swirled it away, if that makes sense, with the MAC, and this just gives you a really nice finish. Seriously, in reality, I mean, I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but seriously, in reality, when I'm doing it, it just brings everything together and just really gives you a nice finish and no harsh lines. So पाउडर से ये MAC का पाउडर है, and जो एक्स्ट्रा पाउडर मैंने लगाया हुआ था उधर ही मैं सारा इसको swirl करके ना सर्कुलर मोशंस में लेके जा रही हूँ, और इससे इसकी ना पूरे चेहरे की फिनिश इतनी अच्छी आ जाती है. यहाँ पे मैंने बस छोटे ब्रश से यहाँ पे और ज़्यादा फिनिशिंग दे रही है आईज के नीचे. So just underneath the eyes I've gone in with my small fluffy brush, and I'm just getting into all the little corners and things that I want to, and you know, everywhere that I just want a bit of extra powdering really. And you can see she looks absolutely stunning, mashallah, she really did. So these are all like techniques that you can use, and you know, hopefully they'll make a difference to your makeup as well. So I added a blusher. Now I'm out of blushes, to be honest with you. I don't have that many, and I've got a few on order, but I ended up using a slightly pinky toned eyeshadow mixed with my I think with Elf blusher. So I just added that. My highlighter was the Pat McGrath highlighter that I used in my last video as well, and I missed that bit in the video, I'm afraid. So once I've done all my powdering and things like that, there are bits of the makeup that, you know, sometimes get ruined and things like that. So it is important to go back and touch up things. So eyebrows I always go back to and touch them up a little bit as well. And normally the eyeshadow or the shimmer and the eyeliner especially. So here now what I'm going to do is just get my eyeliner perfected. Again, I didn't even perfect it here. I did a little bit more at the end. So I'm just going to create my wing, and I'm just elongating that now as well and getting the tip, and I'm just getting the thickness right. So I didn't want a really thick eyeliner. So the lipstick I've just listed here as well for you guys. Basha, my model, did her own lips as well. So we you know, I've listed all the products there, we mixed them in, and then at the end again I've just gone in with a bit of shimmer and things like that. So end पे हमने बस जो करनी होती है, फिनिशिंग जो करनी होती है, it's really important कि shimmers को, eyeliners को, सारा कुछ को ना अब थोड़ी सी और एक्स्ट्रा फिनिशिंग दे दे. So फाइनल लुक अभी मैं आपको दिखाऊंगी. I hope आप लोगों को ये पसंद आएगा. तो this was pretty much the final look. So what we did is we did end up adding some bindis and things like that, but I didn't actually get any pictures for that, but I have got some on my Instagram. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please do continue watching my videos and showing your love and support. Inshallah, see you guys soon. Allah Hafiz.